Welcome back to the next video. In today's video I will show you how to run background operations periodically using Work Manager in native Android application. I have already made a video on how to run one-time request background operation. Now this is about periodic request. So the advantage of periodic request is once the user has opened an app and you have told the OS run this job periodically, even if the user does not open your app for 10 days, you can that operation will keep on running periodically, but the OS will decide when to run it and how many times to run it. So yeah, let's get started. So first, as usual, I have created an Android application and I won't be able to show you the output because the interval time I have set it as hours. You might say that set it as seconds. You can't really do that. Even if you set it as seconds, the OS will run it whenever it feels like, so don't do that mistake. And the basically what I'm doing is that I'm calling an endpoint REST API in my using Work Manager, and once that is called, I'm storing that data inside preferences data store. I'm also storing the number of count on how many times the background operation has run, because some of you might be curious. So it's better you just build this application, run it on your device, and check that app after maybe 1 or 2 hours. Definitely that background operation might have run, but make sure you have internet connectivity because we are calling a REST API. Otherwise you will get errors continuously. So anyways, let's get started. So here I have created an Android application. Next, you will have to go to build.gradle.kts. Here I have added this build script for our Dagger Hill dependency. Next, inside this build.gradle, I have added Dagger Hill as well as Kotlin capt. At the time of this recording, KSP is still not stable. That's why I'm using capt. But in case if KSP is stable at the time of you watching this video, make sure you use KSP. Next, I have added this Hill dependency, and this is for Work Manager. This is for retrofit for making API calls, and this is for preference data store for storing key value data. Instead of preference data store, you can use room database as well if you want to. Next, I have created a demo API. So this is an interface where I will call this API, get some post, and save it inside my database inside preference data store. And this is the post. So this is how the response is like. Next, I have created a network module. So this is our base URL. So this is a free and open source API, and here I have created this as a singleton component. And here you can see that I have created a OK HTTP client. I have created a JSON factory. I have provided a retrofit instance as well, and here I have created our API service, and this is for creating preference data store. So I have created singleton for all of these things. So if you want, you can pause the video and copy paste this code if you feel like. Next, I have created a custom worker class, and here I have marked it as @hilt worker, and I have injected demo API context work parameters data store repository as well, and it is extending from coroutine worker. And this is then important method where we are trying to do some operation. So this method gets called when the OS triggers Work Manager to do background operations. So here you can see we are just calling our API. If response is successful, I am saving that data inside my preferences data store. And here I have also created one more method inside my preferences data store to save the count on how many times the background operation has run. So I'm getting the current count, and once I get that count, I'm updating it by 1. So I'm saving it again, and I'm just saying result.success. If failure, do a retry, and here again, if any failure, retry, otherwise do a failure message as well. Next, I have created data source repository, and here I am calling so this is for saving a string value, getting a string value, saving an integer value for our count, and getting our count value as well, but you can refactor it according to your convenience. Next, I have created this my application class, and I have marked it as @hilt Android app, and here I am extending from configuration.provider, and here I am firstly injecting as a singleton component, and it is extending from custom worker factory. and again this is boilerplate code because we are extending from this, and you will have to add this set worker factory for this as well. And this custom worker factory which is been referenced over here is basically used to create our custom worker object, so which you see over here. So yeah, that's what it is. Next you will have to go to Android manifest. First add internet permission because we are making use of REST API call, and here you will also need to add this provider as well. This is required for work manager startup. Next you will have to go to main activity and marked it as @ Android entry point. I have taken a text view, I have initialized it, as well as I am injecting a data source repository as well. If you want to inject this repository via view model, you can do that as well. And here I have created our periodic work request builder. Repeat interval is 1 for 1 hour, and I have set a flex interval of 15 minutes, so work will be executed between 45 minutes to 1 hour. Okay, and I have set up some backoff criteria as well, and sometimes it might execute it, like even though I have given it as 1 hour, it could very well be possible that this work might get executed multiple times within an hour. So there is a high chance of that, and given that this is a periodic work, we want to do that. And then I am calling build method as well. And if you want to set some constraints, you can do that, like run this operation only when network type is connected, and then you will have to on comment this. There are other constraints as well, so if you check, like requires charging, battery not low, set requires device idle, so all that kind of stuff. And here I am creating our work manager, and I am enqueuing unique periodic work. So we are doing this because, and I have given it some unique name because suppose I have started this background operation, the user closed the app, after 2 minutes he reopened the app. We don't want to again trigger same periodic request because this is already in queue. The OS has not executed it, so we don't want that. We want this to be executed again and again. If you want to observe a work manager, you can do this as well, but I have just removed it. And for getting data from our preferences data store, I'm using it like this, and here I'm just displaying it inside text view. So I'm first getting the string from our API, and here I'm also getting the count. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.